Hey guys, Sorin here, and welcome to Tech Weekend, the second edition. Let's get over the news we will be covering this week. The new Dell XPS14 and XPS16 presented at CES 2024. A lot of news will be from there because it's the season. Asus ROG Phone 8 announced. AMD Ryzen 8000G series, more details on that. Nvidia RTX 4070 Super and 1480 Super coming this month. Google has made layoffs and cut back on Google Assistant capabilities. OpenAI launches the GPT store. Linux kernel 6.7 has been released. YouTube is having problems with deepfakes and scams. Amazfit introduced the Helio ring. Loreal smart hair dryer, the AirLight Pro. So those are the news. First off, Dell has unveiled the XPS14 and XPS16, which will be available in early 2024. That means soon. Q1 they said, and they look very good. The touchpad is somewhat invisible. The FN keys are touch-based, and there is no audio jack, but I don't see that as a problem. It's not really a gaming laptop, it's more of a work laptop, business laptop. And the XPS models will come with Intel Core Ultra Meteor Lake processors, which also include an NPU, a neural processing unit. That means a microprocessor specialized in accelerating machine learning algorithms. So in other words, your XPS Dell could be a good portable replacement for your desktop. And even if you experiment with local AI, like playing with Stable Diffusion or LLMs, large language models. So yeah, the laptop looks great. Of course, being part of the more expensive lineup, it's not quite cheap, but they're worth it. And the higher priced models come with great screens, up to 4K if I'm not mistaken, and touchscreen enabled also. So yeah. Next up, the Asus ROG Phone 8. To be brutally honest, I don't play any games on my phone. Literally, not even a single game is installed on my phone. I don't find myself bored enough when I'm outside the house to play a game. And if I'm inside, I'm gonna use my PC if I feel like it. But given the specs, the ROG 8 is likely to do a good job. It will be available in variants of 16 GB of RAM with 256 and 512 storage space, and a 24 GB of RAM and 1 TB of storage version. They will all use the Snapdragon 8 Generation 3. Asus relies on their design for adequate cooling in high-intensity gaming scenarios, but they also say that the Aeroactive Cooler X can reduce the phone's temperature by 26 degrees. I have no idea if this really works like that or not, but yeah. The screen the phone comes with is an OLED with support for up to 165 Hz and comes with Corning Gorilla Glass Victus 2. It's 6.78 inch diagonally with a resolution of 2400 by 1800 pixels. It's IP68 rated, meaning it's dust proof and water resistant, up to a meter or even more, but I wouldn't put my phone into water. Yeah, so we're waiting for professional reviews to see how it performs and how well it's built from people who specialize in reviewing phones. Next we have the AMD Ryzen 8000 series. AMD processors with a G in their name have integrated graphics. So the 8000G series processors combine Zen 4 architecture, RDNA 3 for graphics, and the XDNA for AI, an NPU again. This is a huge step forward for people who like their machines with integrated graphics, or just can't be bothered to spend money on a GPU, because the new CPUs from AMD actually pack a punch when it comes to graphic performance. We're talking about decent full HD performance, 1080p in modern titles, okay, with modest settings, but anyone getting this isn't a hardcore gamer. And nothing stops you from adding a dedicated graphics cards in the future to your setup. AMD also states this is the first desktop processor with a dedicated AI engine, and it hasn't forgotten about the AM4 platform. So they're launching the 5700X3D, 5700 Simple, 5600 GT, 5500 GT. I can't complain, it seems brilliant, because the 5000 series Ryzen 5000 processors, even if they do seem old and behind, they perform sensationally well. I mean, the 5800X3D, for example, will perform in 2024 in most titles, even in 4K in some PC games. And even the 5600X and the 5700X should not be overlooked either. They are great budget CPUs. They are very potent and can give life to a PC for at least another year, even more. Your expectations and the resolutions at which you play, and if you're the type of gamer that wants everything on ultra, matters. But there are still acceptable options, especially if you play at 1080p or 1440p. And again, in some titles they even manage 4K. They are very good CPUs, and they can be used to spice up your current setup and delay making a major upgrade. Because if you're on AM4, an upgrade also means changing your CPU, your motherboard, your RAM. So yeah, that's pretty darn nice of them. Next up, Nvidia releases the RTX 4070 Super and 4080 Super this month. The Star RTX 4080 Super, usually the expensive version is the Star, was announced at a price of $999. That puts it $200 cheaper than the non-super version. This theoretically puts it at about the same price as the 7900 XTX from AMD. That most likely, if you would be put in the position to choose from the two, you'll pick up the Nvidia 4080 Super. So yeah, AMD has something to respond to. The 4080 Super comes with more cores, higher frequencies, a faster GDDR6X memory. It's still based on AD103, like the RTX 4080, the normal one, but this time with more CUDA cores, more TMUs, and more ray tracing cores. About 5%, but hey, we're talking about a 5% increase and a price cut, so that's pretty great. Other cards from the Super lineup don't come with a price discount, but the 4070 Ti Super comes at the same price as the non-Super variant, while increasing some CUDA cores and other specifications. And we have more GDDR6 RAM and a bigger bus, 256 bits compared to 192. So yeah, that's pretty good. Next up, Google decided to lay off more employees, and they're streamlining some certain departments. Teams of engineers working on hardware and Google Assistants are affected, basically. Some features of the Google Assistant are also being eliminated, basically, about 17. Google says because they are not widely used. It's clear that Google is preparing something on this front of virtual assistants, as at one point in October, if I recall correctly, they promised that Google Assistant will receive integration with AI Bard. That didn't happen yet. At the same time, the Google Pixel 9 may come with Pixie, an AI assistant exclusive to Google Pixel phones. So who knows what Google has in store for us. Yeah, so I'm gonna put a link in the blog on TechieShow.com with all the changes and expand on them. So go ahead and read that if you are curious about what features are going away from Google Assistant. OpenAI announces the launch of GPT Store. About 2 months ago, the feature of creating a GPT chatbot became available to their interface. You don't need any programming skills or something like that. And people have already been creating over 3 million versions with their data, with their specifications. Okay, so OpenAI said that in the first quarter of the year there will be also a way to make money with this thing. They did not give any details or anything. Probably there will be a system of revenue share or something like that based on usage or things. I personally tried this make your own GPT thing. It works as advertised. It's pretty decent. Yeah, so I don't know what to say. I guess we'll see how this pricing and store will work. Moving on, Linux kernel 6.7 released on 8 January. It includes some Intel improvements, better support for RISC-V, specific AMD improvements, and we also have the introduction of Bcache-FS file system and 2 new additions for BTRFS. A big release, and soon we'll see it in the distributions we used based on the specifics of the distribution. Now, YouTube is struggling with deepfakes and scam videos featuring images of Taylor Swift, The Rock, Ice Cube, Oprah, Andrew Tate, and other celebrities, totally over 195 million views. Obviously, they are promoting scams. Remember the old fake streams with Elon Musk that were actually promoting some stupid scam. Even in Romania, we have such things. Romanian people probably saw those ads with sensational passive earning opportunities when you make a godly absurd amount of money passively per month. And you are being taken to some scammy website, or in any case a dumb scam. Yeah, and even the videos don't sync the audio and video properly. I don't know. I reported an ad, but after 1 or 2 days Google replied that it's okay, and I quote, "We found that the ad doesn't go against Google's policies." And while I can go to myadcenter.google.com to customize a bit what ads I see, these things shouldn't exist on a serious platform. Google should react quickly and harshly to such things. But I guess money is money. Moving on, Amazfit presents the Helio ring, made of a titanium alloy and weighing about 4 grams. The ring will have sleep tracking and recovery statistics after sports. It's also water resistance up to 100 meters. And we'll also have a AI chatbot integrated with it on the Pro version app or something like that, the Zep Aura AI, and it costs about $70 per year. I like the idea of these smart rings, like the Aura ring, which has very good reviews, but this monthly subscription things is a bit weird, as things starts to add up. If you think of how many things we can be subscribed to, it comes to quite an amount per month. It's weird. And lastly, how smart can a hairdryer be? Well, apparently the AirLight Pro uses 30% less energy because it also has some infrared heating elements which dry the hair a bit like drying in the sun and wind. The hairdryer also recognizes what attachment will be put on it and adjusts its settings, and obviously you will have an app, because we need an app for everything, to set certain parameters and stuff. I don't know. And it will be just $400, coming to Europe in June. So yeah, I guess we'll see. It looks fancy and all, I don't know, we'll see. Yeah, so that's about it guys for this week. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.